What is going on, hybrid shooters? It's Jason Vong, and last month I attended the first Sony B Alpha event in Brooklyn, New York, where I did a shootout between the Sigma Art 135 f1.8 versus the Zeiss Batis 135 f2.8. I know it's been a while, it's been a month ago, I apologize for that. I promised you guys the video, so here we go, let's just get down and dirty with it. Sigma Art, like we've tested, has always been just a tad bit sharper over the Zeiss and the G Master counterparts, and this one here is no exception. Bokeh at 1.8 versus 2.8 with a 135, you can definitely tell there's a difference between the two aperture. But if you're just showing one image at a time without any sort of f-stop presented to you, it's going to be very hard to distinguish. For example, I posted this photo on my YouTube community tab, and almost everybody thought it was shot with the Zeiss, but in actuality, I shot it with the Sigma Art at 1.8. And I don't blame them, I wouldn't have been able to tell either. So if you're the 10% that gets Sigma, kudos to you. Now the difference is going to be very subtle when you start going for these types of full body shots. And of course, when you go for the close-up, you can tell the 1.8 is definitely more buttery. Stopping down to 2.8 with the Sigma, you're going to find the results to be nearly identical with these two lenses. Now in low light situation, the Sigma is obviously going to win because of that 1.8 aperture. That's going to come in clutch in those low light situations. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the autofocus. In terms of photo autofocus, I felt like they both performed very similarly. I was very surprised with the Sigma Art 135. I never felt it slowed me down, it never choked on me. It actually kept up very well during these photo shoots. But for video autofocus though, the Zeiss definitely wins in terms of speed, reliability, and consistency. The Sigma was not smooth when it was focusing, and it was not consistent overall. So if you're interested in seeing this test, I did a comprehensive comparison between all of the Zeiss and Sigma lenses, including a few G Master lenses as well. So go ahead and click up here to check out that comparison. But just really quickly, in the manual focus department, Sigma definitely wins with that mechanical focus, but the Zeiss does have that pretty cool OLED display that's dope as fuck. So let's talk about size. Zeiss itself is definitely much smaller and lighter compared to the Sigma Art 135. So if you're looking to travel with a 135, the Zeiss may be the one to get. So honestly, at this point, it's gonna be up to you. Is that 1.8 aperture worth carrying that extra weight and size? Or would you rather go for something that's lighter and smaller, but settle for that f2.8 aperture? For some people, size does matter, and for some people, they value the image quality more. Personally, for me, I'll still stick with my Zeiss 135 just because it's light. I've shot plenty of videos with it, especially wedding films. Any chance that I don't have to use my 7200 f2.8 G Master, I go straight for the Zeiss. And just to give you guys a bit of a weight comparison, the Zeiss is 1.35 pound, the Sigma 135 is 2.49 pound, and the 7200 G Master is 3.26 pound. Whoa, no way, the 7200 is almost more than double the weight of the Zeiss? Whew. Perhaps this next part will help you make your decision better. Let's talk about price. $13.99 for the Sigma Art versus $16.99 for the Zeiss Batis. Now hear me out first, okay? When the Zeiss Batis first came out, it had a $2,000 price tag, which a lot of people thought it was ridiculous. So it finally got lowered to an official price of $16.99. But back in May, this lens did come down to $14.99. So you can snag the Zeiss Batis for $14.99. That is a fantastic price to get it at. For an extra $100 more, you're paying for better autofocus and a much lighter lens. Now, I know I'm going to be getting a lot of questions about this. Should you wait for Sony's G Master 135? Now, it's all rumors right now. We don't even know if it's actually in production or not. There's strong rumors about it. It was supposed to be announced with the 24mm G Master, but obviously only one lens got announced. So here's what I will say. We're not sure if the G Master 135 is going to be 1.8 or f2, but for a fact, it's going to be much lighter than the Sigma Art 135. Is it gonna be lighter or slightly heavier than the Zeiss Batis? Only time will tell. But for sure though, the price tag will be hefty, so just be ready for that. Alright guys, thanks for—
How did you do that?
Do what?
You color labeled and you rated all of your photos.
You don't know how to do that?
What?
Aw, jeez.
What?
Here comes the plug. While editing and stylization of photos are almost always subjective and dependent on the artist's taste, organization is almost always universal.
Who are you talking to?
Learn how to better organize and sort your photos in Adobe Lightroom, how to utilize ratings and colors for quicker culling, see comparisons to pick the best, and find out that little feature you've been curious about for a while now with courses from Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with a ton of classes, which even goes beyond photography, such as cooking, business, and lifestyle. While you can find all of this information for free, Skillshare is a one-stop shop with full, concise courses that's going to save you a lot of time from searching what you need to know. For example, a couple months ago, I mentioned that I took Drew Geraci's course on how to do time lapses, and while my results aren't the best, the concept was easy to grasp. So definitely check out Skillshare for all of your Adobe Creative Cloud needs. Here you go. Sign up with my link and get 2 months for free. You're welcome. Happy anniversary.
What's up?
Don't worry, you'll get it in 2 months.